supporters whenever they raise issues. I'm holding here, Chair. There's a letter dated 28th April 2025 that was sent to me by Sam Kashago, claiming they are unable to meet with Lydia Bathia and Mbogo there. I remember giving Mbogo a call, and he assured me that he would have a conversation with them. This is not supposed to be how it is, because everybody who serves in the county government of Nairobi is a public officer. You should be available to have conversations with the residents of Nairobi, especially surrounding such important matters. Personally, the dispute, as I understand it, Senator Christo Nasige, is that there needs to be a reconciliation on how much money Sam is claiming to have paid and what the county government claims to have received, because of the various forms that have of payments that have been there in the city over the years. Somebody claims I sent money to these life forms, I sent money to this account. When NMS came, there was even greater confusion as to who was receiving money where. Now, that reconciliation cannot happen in the Senate, for heaven's sake. That conciliation is not going to happen in Sifuna's office, which is why, Governor, your officers, I don't have the records, sure, of who has paid rent and who hasn't paid rent. Those records are in the county government. Let these officers make our lives a bit easier. I would like to go a month without receiving a letter from Motive, please. Or at least if they write to me a letter, let it be inviting me to a bash or something like that. It can't be just the same things over and over. So, for me, that is my understanding of the problem, and this is a challenge we will put to the governor. Instruct your officers to be willing to meet with the residents.
And Senator Sifuna, I know Governor is itchy.
No.
Governor.
How do you know I'm asking?
Not to respond to this, to what Senator said, but Governor, I think that the issue of communication, I talked about it. I think we saw when Agesa was presenting, we saw when John was presenting, the constant confrontation is lack of engagement. I call it larger engagement, but it's communication problem, and I think that this one can be solved.
I think even civic education, because rent reconciliations are done every single day. They're not done by the chief officer or by a CEC. Today, if you walk in, we have so many tenants. Rent reconciliation is done every day at our customer service center. It's a routine administrative thing. It's not for a meeting with the cabinet or with CECs, you know. But if it's a bulk, I've sent you a document because Senator Sige asked, what do I know that you don't know? I've sent you a schedule of all rent arrears in Woodley. Just peruse and you'll see from the top. You'll understand what's going on.
That's in order, Chair.
But,
but also I would request the governor, if he's making a verbal submission, that he should refer to his own documents rather than saying, I know and he knows, so that we all can also know.
Like which one?
Anytime you submit, Governor, my request humbly is that you just point us to the specific volume, the page, so that we can also follow.
Yeah, but not everything I say is in a document. You know, we're having a discussion.
That's fine. That's fine.
So can I just say one last thing?
Just one. Yes, Sam.
Now, I get the feeling that that the governor is just getting back at me for having raised this issue. Yes. Why? Because I don't know, but anyway, I'll give you
some way.
Yes.
This is a committee of the Senate.
Yes.
When someone is talking, give them a listening, a wit.
Restoring also, and the heritage of the old estates. You know, the old estates. Some of the things that happened in these estates many years ago, historical for our children to remember what they were. The MOUs, even reports, do not confer land ownership. You have lawyers in this, you have legal counsel in your committee. Land ownership is not conferred upon in that manner. Yes, President Mwai Kibaki was MP for Bahati, and he could have, it's possible that was what he wanted to do. It reached third reading. I think the senator for Nairobi has explained to you what happens with the law. But you see, now not only will you get a house, but more Kenyans will also be able to get a house. You know, you're, I think, less than 1,000 residents in Bahati. We're possibly going to get 5,000, or whatever number. I'll get the specific numbers. So you will get that privilege of owning a house. But think about the other Kenyans. There's somebody right now who is sharing a room with his wife and his children. The wife has to go shower outside in a line and the other men waiting. living in indignity, who is going also to get a chance to get a house? So that's what I'm saying. Yes, you might be 42 residents of that lot 1 of Woodley. You have a right. But so do the other 1,900. They are also Nairobians. So let us not be exclusive. You know, that this is ours, even the other people have parents. And they're Kenyans as you. So, Chairman, let me leave it at that. We're ready to continue engaging, but engagement will not stop us from doing our work as a county government.
Thank you, Governor.
That is a bit old as an MCC, because these are serious concerns that are being raised by your tenants.
And they're saying that tenants inconveniences.
Correct.
Tenants being inconvenienced.
That's what I'm saying. I doubt you will classify the concerns in Jericho or Lumumba as inconveniences. These are major concerns. And Governor, we had advanced this conversation where you had gotten to a point where I think you have undertaken in uncertain terms that there would be no agreement signed without these so-called inconveniences having been cleared. But maybe, Chair, with your guidance, we can hear from the residents about these inconveniences.
Before even that, the Abida will have, because I want to, Governor, this committee is very keen on closures. Some of them will be long-term closures, some will be medium-term closures, but some will certainly short-term closures. And those closures, what I was expecting in that particular brief, I think it's one of the most important briefs that I've had in the entire conversation. What I was expecting is, with Lumumba, this is...
There was a meeting on the 26th of February 2024, but you've told me you were under the weather, Pole Sana. But I took members of Woodley through the project. I showed them the diagrams, the architectural. I explained to them what this program is about. We sat with them. 20 of them signed on out of the 43. And those who signed on were then given compensation because the rest took us to court. When they took us to court, you have taken us to court, meaning you have not accepted what we are offering you. So we could not engage. The case was dismissed with costs, by the way. In fact, that was unprecedented. I've never seen a case where the public have gone to court and it's dismissed with costs. They were supposed to pay the county. Well, we started engaging again, and because I gave instructions that it is not fair, even if they've gone to court. Going to court is your right as a Kenyan. The same way coming to the Senate is your right as a Kenyan. I said, yes, they've gone to court, but still, since the case has been dismissed and they've lost it, if those who are willing to come, please come, let them come, and we give them the exact same offer of the 900,000 shillings, which is unheard of in our history. I don't know if you have any example of a tenant giving you 900,000 to go pay rent elsewhere and come back and get a house for free, and your allotment letter. They went to the Court of Appeal. So for those 20 residents, we were waiting for them. We will not engage them on the compensation and the allotment if they're still in court, because that then jeopardizes our position. It jeopardizes our position as of now. But we are willing, if they come out of that process, it's their right. It's their right. You know, it's their right. On lot 2 and lot 3, I think...
Is that the 22 that were mentioned?
The ones who didn't, yeah, the 22 that...
The 22 that I mentioned?
That I mentioned.
Okay.
If any of them wishes to get out of it individually, they'll come and we'll process their payment. And we'll give them their allotment letter. The chief officer has given me an example of the allotment letter. I hope you can give the clerk so that it can be distributed. The second thing about Woodley, the issue of rents. I don't think we should belabor this.